Oh, no, not another greeting card video on YouTube. That it is. But here's the deal. I am hoping to inspire you with to walk away from this video with prompting three ideas for you for one of your cards. Now, I write and illustrate funny women greeting cards, and I have sold 10,000 plus from my Etsy store. And while that's good for me, it's even better for you because I can share kind of the formula or how I've done that and hopefully inspire you to do the same for your customers, to build on your customers. The one thing I will tell you is there is a story behind every card. I consider them little mini novelettes. And if I share the story, kind of gives you insight into the humor writing and how I come up with the cover text, and more importantly, how I twist it into inside text, which statistics show greeting card customers want the inside text. It does the thinking for them. So I also think of greeting cards as little tiny novels. Oh, and there's a story behind all of them. Like this one, here's her sister. And I'm going to share that story. I worked with somebody who bragged nonstop at my last day job. I mean, nonstop and about everything and anything. And I'm sure you all know somebody like that. They just always had the bigger, better story. They always topped the story. They made you insane when, frankly, they weren't half as fabulous as they were painting themselves to be. So that made me think of I just hate when people brag about how fabulous they are when they usually aren't, like this person. And then I twisted it and turned it, and I kind of go from the opposite. I take an opposite angle for the inside text. As for us, we can't help being fabulous, and that's not bragging, rather stating a fact. And what I did there was I wrote something that drove me crazy that I'm pretty sure so many of us can identify with, um, and turned it around to celebrate the sender and the recipient. I mean, the recipient and then the sender. But that's always kind of how my cards, that's one formula. You put your slam, your frustration, your complaint, your observation on the outside, and for that inside text, go a little opposite to then celebrate the person you're sending it to. And when I'm writing a card, this is by far one of my best sellers, which means people do identify with the card. When I do write a card, I don't think of, oh, how many people is this going to appeal to? Is it going to appeal to a huge audience? Who's my market out there? I think of one person, one girlfriend, one buddy, one sister, and I think of writing the card just for them because I think we all tend to have things in common. But instead of thinking huge and globally and putting that pressure on myself, I think, what would I write if I was writing this to Lynn or Kim or Carol? Or do you get what I'm saying? So that's one thing I think is very important. Don't think of a huge audience. Think who are you going to send this to? So, as I've said, this is one of my best selling cards. And to me, the reason is the foundation of my humor, or I think of humor in general, is because a lot of people can relate to it. When people can relate to it, it's something we have in common. We build from there. So, today, your prompt is going to be to write three things that annoy you about a person, or three things that annoy you in general. But I like to go specifically about people. That's more fun. Could be a coworker, could be a sibling, could be a boss, could be a friend. Yeah, even friends annoy us. It's true. Could be a spouse. That's right. They can annoy us too. Um, and then we're going just write down three things because really what you're doing is you're getting your creative, observational muscles flowing. And as we go along in this series, I'll share how you're going to flip almost any kind of text into humor text, but it all comes down to what do we have in common? And how funny is this? The person that inspired this card saw the card and said, "Oh my gosh, Colleen, people like that bug me too. I totally get it. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. People that I hate people that brag." And all I did was say, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. She had no idea. It was based on her. P.S. The drawing of the character was, I'm going to sound very catty here, but the drawing of the character was more attractive than her. Not that she's not attractive, it's just the drawing of the character is more attractive. Meow.